Hey, how are you going? My name is Safe. I find myself playing with a lot of lower level players very often. I have a lot of friends that are very new to the game of Smite and need to get better. And when giving basic tips to them, I find myself repeating myself very often. So I thought, instead of repeating myself for the next 100 years, why don't I just make a video about the 5 most important tips that I could give to beginner players? I've been playing Smite for 10 plus years, and some of these things that I'm going to talk about here, I wish I focused on earlier in my Smite career, my Smite life, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to start with the absolute easiest thing that you can control in your games. It's kind of a two-parter, but for the first tip, just ward more. Use your free ward and then also buy wards. Just ward more. If you know where enemies are, it helps you so much in the game. I know that there's like a movement going on that wards are a waste of gold. They're tweaking. Please don't listen to them. That's some Reddit shit. If you can ward more often, you'll know where the enemies are and you can play safer just by knowing where they are. You don't have to get any better as a player. You won't get caught out as much because you're warding. The amount of times I see people in games with less than 10 wards now is insane. Considering we have a free ward at the first second of the game that they give to you for the entirety of the game. My cat has decided to join us. For my second tip, it is so important in Smite to prioritize farm over fighting. If you want to get technical into it, kills really just aren't worth that much unless they're much further ahead of you or it's in service of doing something else on the map, which we'll get into with my third tip. But the amount of times that I see people in lower level games sitting there fighting in lane or chasing kills when there are camps on the map is just ridiculous. Get your guaranteed farm so that you can fight later. Don't spend the whole game chasing these fights that you can't even win. But that kind of leads to my third tip. Fight around objectives. If you're going to fight, make there be a reason to fight. Don't fight because you want to fight. I understand that some people think that that's a little boring, but there's nothing boring about dominating a team in Conquest. It's very fun, I promise you. Fight around objectives. Don't fight just to fight. If you're going to fight, check what can we do after this fight. Are we fighting around gold? Okay, we're gonna get gold after this fight. That's why we're fighting. Are we fighting around Pyromancer? Okay, we're getting Pyromancer after this fight. That's why we're fighting. Are we fighting around Fire Giant? You get it. Fight for something. Don't fight just to fight. There's no reason for it. The amount of times I've had to tell my friends they need to just walk away or they shouldn't be fighting right now, it's crazy. My last two tips are very simple, very easy to follow. Number 4, just pick a couple gods in your role that you play and just play them. I see so many people branching out, and this is something that I did and I wish I didn't do when I first started playing the game, was branching out to a bunch of different gods and branching out to a bunch of different roles early on. If you are feeling comfortable in Smite and you want to improve, just play a couple gods in the role that you play. Maybe play 2 roles and just play 2 to 3 gods in those roles. Grind those 2 to 3 gods out as much as you can, as long as possible. Just play hundreds and hundreds of games of just those gods until you get so much more comfortable doing everything else that I told you to do. Warding, fighting around objectives, keeping optimal farm pathing. And then you can kind of see yourself branching out to the more meta picks, whatever the meta shifts to over, the weeks, months, because the meta is always fucking changing. Before we get to my final tip, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an honorable mention. And that's just to not stress about it. Everyone is so bad at Smite for so long. It happens. When you're first starting to play Smite, the learning curve is crushing. So don't feel like you're not making any progress. And remember that improvement is not linear. The learning curve in MOBAs is steep. It's hard to deal with. It's rough on the mental, but once you make it to the other side, it feels great to finally be as good as you want to be, or at least closer to it. But that feeds into the last tip that I have for you guys, and that's copy builds. Copy good players' builds from places like Tracker, from places like Smite Source. There are even places like Smite Brain that you can copy builds from. There's so many avenues to copy builds. You could even just look up a video of somebody who's a high ranked player playing your god that you want to play, and just copy that dude's build. Building is not difficult. Don't use auto build, just copy builds. It's basically the same thing. Building is the last thing that you should learn how to do at a higher level. Just copy until you're like Master Plus. You don't need to worry about that. And those are all 5 of my tips for beginner players to improve faster in Smite 2. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. I know this is a shorter video than I usually make, but just rattling off things that I want to see more lower level players do. Smite is growing faster now than it has in a very, very long time. Get in on the ground floor, start grinding if you're a new player. You're gonna love it. It's such a fun grind once you really get going. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Like, comment, subscribe. I think we're almost at 300 subscribers, which is huge considering I was at like 150 just 2-3 months ago, something like that. But have a great day. Stay safe. Thank you for watching.